Let's start here. The City of Tshwane might have a new mayor by tomorrow. The DA coalition's attempt to oust the Speaker today thwarted when he just adjourned the session. We've seen weeks of political instability, with the provincial government now taking a keen interest in what is going on. The spectre of administration from a provincial level is looming large. I'm joined now by Dr Corne Mulder of the Freedom Front Plus. Of course, they're part of the DA-led coalition. Dr Mulder, thank you for joining us. So talk me through what happened today.
Let me first just start off by saying that there's no DA-led coalition. We insist that it's a multi-party coalition, and all the parties accept that, but be that as it may. The fact of the matter is, I think we should just stop for 1 second and go back to the beginning, and I'll be very brief. In November of 2021, there was a local government general election, and in that election result, no single party obtained a majority. But however, it was possible to form a coalition consisting of 5 political parties that gives it a majority, and we govern in terms of that. The ANC has never accepted the fact that they've lost their majority or that they were now in opposition, and they've been destabilizing this coalition, trying every trick in the book until today. So today, for example, was supposed to be a special council meeting in terms of the law, called through the correct processes with a petition signed by the majority of councillors to deal with a motion of no confidence in the Speaker of Council, the one that was elected, the one from the ATM having 1 member and a council of 214 being pushed there as a puppet for the ANC and the EFF. Now, obviously, there are procedures in terms of the law. We followed exactly the procedures to the letter of the law, keeping to everything exactly. The Speaker ignored that, and then the law clearly stipulates that the municipal manager is then empowered to call such a meeting, which he basically did. When we got there this afternoon, the EFF made it clear beforehand that there will be no meeting. So when we got there, the Speaker just took the chair himself. It's not his meeting. He didn't call the meeting. And he spent about 3 or 4 minutes and he just adjourned the meeting. Now, it's the second time that he has done that. Last week, there was a council meeting to elect the new executive mayor. And the multi-party coalition were ready to proceed with that. We've got the numbers, we've got the candidate, we are ready to govern. But because the ANC and their little band of merry parties understand that they don't have the numbers, once again last week, he also just summarily adjourned the meeting and prevent us from governing. Now, obviously, this is part of a coordinated strategy to create chaos in the City of Tshwane as a pretense at some stage for the province to intervene and try to put us under administration. This is a challenge to democracy. This is a challenge to the outcome of the last election, and we should understand the importance of what's happening and playing out now.
I want us to listen to a clip from the ANC's point of view. This is George Majila speaking today.
There's a problem here. This meeting has been illegally and unlawfully constituted. We have a speaker in the City of Tshwane, Councillor Nzwanano, and it can't be that you'll have a city manager convening a meeting when we have a speaker, because the speaker never refused to call a meeting unless there's evidence to that effect. That's the speaker refused to call a meeting, therefore the DA-led coalition petitioned the city manager. So there's no such.
So what we've learned, or my understanding, is that the city manager can't call a meeting unless the speaker refuses or is absent. What do you say to what the ANC is saying there? They're basically saying that this whole plan to call this meeting via the city manager is wrong.
I'm absolutely amazed about ANC lies and half-truths. Everything that he has just now said is untrue. Every word is untrue, and the tragedy is he knows that. But guess what? The ANC doesn't care. They really doesn't care. We know exactly what we are doing. We went through the correct processes. The Speaker was given ample time to call the meeting in terms of the law. He ignored it. You won't believe, this is like a thriller. When we tried to service this petition on his office, his staff refused to accept the offer. The petition. They refused to receive it. Then we sent it by email. Then they tried to keep us away from giving it to them until after office hours. But we gave it to them before. You won't believe what is playing out here. And then the ANC comes along and plays holier than thou. He's talking absolute nonsense.
Okay.
Absolute nonsense.
So is this issue something you're going to put aside now? Because tomorrow, I understand, the vote is meant to happen for the new mayor. Is that correct? Is that going to go ahead?
Exactly. Well, at this stage, it's going ahead. Tomorrow, there should be a special council meeting to elect a new executive mayor. The multi-party coalition will participate and we will be ready. We've got the numbers. We've got the candidate on behalf of the multi-party coalition to elect that meeting. My prediction is if the ANC tries to disrupt that meeting and try to collapse it, it's possible. Then it will only be an indication that they once again realize they don't have the numbers. We'll see how it plays out tomorrow. We will not disrupt anything. We are ready to proceed. And we trust that the ANC will once again try to be Democrats, although they find it very, very difficult to do.
A quick understanding, am I right that the Speaker has called this meeting tomorrow? So it's unlikely that he will try and disrupt the meeting unless something pops up again, like we saw the question about the COPE members' credentials, for example.
He'll take instructions from his political masters, and he will do anything that they will tell him. Obviously, we will see how that plays out tomorrow. If he's sincere and the meeting can take place, then we should have a mayor of the multi-party coalition tomorrow evening this time. But we are not letting go of what happened today. We will approach the courts now and have the process of today set aside because it was illegitimate in terms of how the Speaker acted. The process was legitimate from our side. He just hijacked the meeting and adjourned the meeting, and that is typically what they are trying to do at the moment. It's part of a planned chaos to create the impression and to create the circumstances for the province to intervene.
And, you know, if so much wasn't at stake, it would be easy to sort of grab the popcorn and watch this all play out. The reality is the citizens of Pretoria are going to suffer. There is an adjustment budget that needs to be passed now by the 14th of April. Hopefully that deadline will be met. Just talk to me about the implications of that budget being delayed or not passed when it's meant to be.
Absolutely, absolutely correct. This is not something that one can take lightly. This is very, very serious stuff. The residents of Tshwane are the ones that are suffering at the moment in terms of service delivery, etc., and they are the ones at risk that could be placed under administration by the ANC, the worst thing that could happen to anybody in South Africa. So the adjustment budget is absolutely essential that we pass that. It should have been passed a long time ago. We're out of time because of the shenanigans of the ANC and the EFF. We then applied to National Treasury and they gave us an extension until the 14th of April. And we are ready to do so. But the problem is, in order for the adjustment budget to be passed, you first need to have a mayor elected. The mayor then must appoint a mayoral committee. They must go through the budget item by item and then bring it to council for approval. We are ready to do so if we are allowed to elect that mayor that we've been denied so long in so many meetings in the recent past. And it's absolutely essential that is done, unless it's part of a pretense to prevent us from passing the adjustment budget, to give a further reason for so-called attempt by the province to intervene.
Well, we will watch with interest what happens tomorrow, and let's hope that we do have a mayor for the City of Tshwane and a mayor that can go the distance, of course, not one that will lead to further instability. Dr Corne Mulder of the Freedom Front Plus, part of that multi-party coalition in the City of Tshwane. Now, let's move to this story. It's the one we've all been talking about. We can't stop talking about it. It is truly astonishing.